Hello, Aries. How are you? This is Laurie, and I'm here to do a weekly reading for you. I'm going to do a 12 houses spread. I started this video. I laid out all your cards, and then I had issue with my throat. So I didn't want to get rid of the message that was here, so it is all set. I promise you I shuffled the deck and laid your cards out exactly as they were. So this is your 12 houses spread. Okay, let's get into this. Your first house is the one about your first impression that you make on people. How do people view you? How do you view yourself? How do you see yourself succeeding in life? This is about your self-confidence. Who you are. The more you know yourself, the better your life will be. Where are you on that journey? Please keep in mind these are general readings, so some parts are going to play heavier for you, where others may not make even any sense to you at this time. Just take what makes sense and leave the rest for now. Maybe do some diving into it later on. All right, so in your first house, you have the Seven of Swords. So you seem like you appear to be somebody who has strategies, has plans, has the ability to think things through. And of course, house one is the house of Aries. I'm sure you all know that. So this is your house, okay? Very good at strategizing, coming up with plans, creating. Okay, you're very good at creating. I am also hearing that sometimes you tend to keep your plans to yourself. Not necessarily because you don't want to involve other people. You just know that you can handle it. You can do it. You're competent. You're capable. And that is a beautiful energy here. All right, so the Seven of Swords tells me, as an Aries, you're competent, you're capable, you're ready to move forward, you know how to make a plan. People see you probably as a natural-born leader, or just a learned leader. You're probably natural born to it. I also am an Aries, just so you know. So I can speak on these things from experience. The other aspect here is that some people think you just don't want to involve other people, but it's just not in your nature to go to other people to ask for things. You feel confident, you feel competent, you know you can do things. And sometimes I am getting a message here where maybe in the past you have tried to include people, and either they, one, took your idea, your plans, and they went in a whole different direction and made a success of what was yours. Some of you may have invited people in to help, to work with you, and they just kind of didn't want to, or mess things up, didn't understand what you were saying, kind of left you high and dry. All right, so there's a little bit of difference here in what's happening in your life. As I said, this can't resonate perfectly for everybody. It's a collective Aries reading. However, you're very good at strategizing, coming up with plans. People do see you as being competent, capable, so that's your first impression that you make. Now, Seven of Swords can also be considered a little bit sneaky, underhanded. I don't ever see the Seven of Swords that way. I see it as protective or trying to eliminate the distractions. Okay, so people may misread you in this house here, in their first impressions of you. I get that most people see you as very, very competent, capable. All right, very nice. All right, so let's take a look at house 2 here. And this is all about your self-worth, okay? Your sense of self. This house also is Taurus, before I forget to mention that. The house of Taurus. And it also talks about your personal relationship with money and material things. How you view whether or not you have enough in the world. Whether you have a lack of something, plenty of, or just enough, or that you're entitled to much, much more than what you're receiving. It's all about how you view your relationship with the material world, your sense of self-worth. This also includes your body, okay? So how you move through the world. Do you move with confidence, or are you more like a little mouse that just goes around and tries not to have anyone pay attention to you? As an Aries, I see most of you feeling very both ways. You can be feeling very confident in some circumstances, and others you may not want to draw much attention to yourself. However, you may still draw attention because you are Aries. You do have a very strong aura, okay? Now, as far as your money, your personal resources, how you view yourself, let's see what we have here. We have Justice. Okay, now this did, I will tell you, come out in the reverse. So this tells me that you do not feel, most of you do not feel like what you have is what you deserve. You've put a lot of energy into something. You put a lot of time, energy, effort, thought into accomplishing things, and it's still not balanced. So that does not mean you're giving up on anything. It just means that you continue to strive for that thing that you are seeking that will pay off for you. So for some of you, this can feel very much like determination, seeking justice. Some of you, Aries, I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're just starting your journey or starting your journey anew, you may be looking at things from a vengeful place. Like, how dare they do that to me? Somebody took everything from me, and how dare they do that? Most Aries don't seek revenge. If it happens almost immediately upon somebody doing something to an Aries. Okay, so it's not like we harbor for years on end grudges. We might never forget it. We're not foolish. We're not foolish people. And we may not forget because we do not want to have that happen to us again. All right. So as far as your material wealth goes, it looks like you're determined to find that balance, to find that sense of security. Sometimes you feel like you have it completely. Other times you feel like you're missing certain aspects. I do see multiple experiences here, good, bad, indifferent, that have created your personal individual perspective on what wealth, material things mean to you. Some of you don't care anything about material things, and others of you, you hoard them, you gather them, you keep buying them. It's just like a part of who you are. And I'm not here to judge. However you live your life is your life. So it's going to be a little bit different for each of you. All right, let's move on to house 3, which is the house of Gemini. This is about how you think, how you communicate, what happened to you in your childhood as far as your day-to-day normal life. What were your interactions like in school, with your friends, your neighbors, and so on. Okay, what developed then affects you now. So let's take a look at where you are right now. We've got the Judgment. Okay, so you rise above where you were as a child. There's been a lot of things that may or may not have been, they were blessings, experiences, they were blessings. Some worked out really well. Others taught you how to speak your truth, okay? Without, some of you, let's see if I can get this clear. All right, some of us, it took us a long time to figure out that how we say something affects other people, and that's on them, okay? Part of that is on them, but part of it is, were you a careful communicator or not, based on your relationships with people, like your parents. Did they listen to you? Did they not listen to you? Did people laugh at you when you spoke up? So those kinds of things affected you, and you had to learn how to navigate through those energies as you matured, as you aged. I think you've come to the point where you have made up your mind that you're going to rise above all of that. It's not what other people think does not matter to you anymore. Okay, you've made up your mind to have fun, to enjoy life. And now that you have done so, there are people out there trying to engage with you again, wanting to be around you now because you have a much bigger, brighter aura around you. You're much more fun. You're much more lighthearted. And that's not to say that the way you were in the previous energies was wrong. It's just a different energy because you accept yourself for who you are now. And you're not going to let other people's opinions of you change how you feel about yourself. So there is the ability to rise above, have fun, and you do tend to be charismatic and an explorer, and some of you would almost rather be out doing other things. Like, these are just not your main focus anymore. People may not be your main focus. And I do feel when you were younger, you may have found people to be very intriguing, learning about them, exploring relationships and communication, and having really awesome experiences. But now I feel like you're spending a little bit more time alone, doing things that really make you happy, make you feel good. And there may be people who are trying to engage with you, family, friends, new people are drawn to you for some reason, really like you. I get that people like you. I think it's because you've got a very peaceful aura about you, a very peaceful energy, still high vibe, still energetic, but you're more low key. You don't want anything from anybody anymore. You found that you can have everything you want and you can bring it to yourself. All right, so that's really beautiful energy there. Let's move on to house 4. All right, so house 4 is the house of Cancer, and this is all about your place of comfort. How do you feel at home with your family, with certain friends, with certain people, in nature? Where do you find your peace and comfort? It looks like people may matter to you. It could be family members. Whatever it is, you do have a sense of alignment here. This is a Lover's card, which could represent your love romantic relationship. So I'm getting maybe a long-term relationship here, a marriage, committed friendship, a BFF for life, that kind of energy. I just heard that brothers in arms type of energy. Yes, your alignment is in your certain relationships. Now, some of you, your relationship is with the cooler weathers, the cooler places in the world, like Alaska, okay, Siberia. You really, really tend to go where it's cold, which is funny because Aries are passionate, energetic, which I guess is not so funny. You're going to find that balance, though. You're not going to live constantly in the cold and the dark. But some of you do absolutely. I keep getting images of Alaska and Siberia. I don't know why they keep coming through. But you're not going to live there. Okay, that's not where it's a place where you can go to find yourself, to recharge, to re-energize, to shut the world down, to close out all the chaos. And then you want to come back into the warmth, the sun, the friendliness, the connections. So again, I am getting a strong energy of needing time to distance yourself from people, from just everything, the whole rat race of life, and find yourself again. And then you can come back to those that you love and that love you. And again, it could just be a place in nature too that calls to you more than even personal relationships. All right, let's take a look at house 5, which is the house of Leo. Sun energy, fun, creativity, self-expression. How do you do that yourself? Let's take a look at what we have here. The Nine of Cups. Oh, most of you are extremely happy with your creative processes. You're very good. You're very confident. Your inner child is saying, I'm happy. I'm having fun. Again, I'm strongly getting a time of being away from other people is when your creativity comes to the forefront. So it's not that you isolate yourself permanently from people, but in your solitude, in your time alone, you're hearing the muse energy, you embrace it and you create. Now, all things that you create are not always going to develop fully, right? You know this, and you are at peace with this. You spend time and really enjoy that newness, the creative process, the getting started. Sometimes you may not see something through, but it's not because you just don't see the value in continuing with it. You get excited by something else, something that fits more with where you're at currently. So some of you may switch up your hobbies, the things that you do to express your creativity. If you're anything like me, which I know a lot of Aries are this way, please confirm this in the comments or deny it. It's up to you. That we love to create. We love to do new things. We love to start new projects and so on and so forth. And myself, I sew. I paint with acrylics. I paint with watercolors. I write. I love to work with digital images. It's just, I love to cook. I don't like to do just one thing. And what I will do is focus for a little while on something. I may put it aside for a little while and come back to it. But I like to get started. And I do try to finish things up. Okay, so if I start a project, I do try to finish it. Sometimes things like a broken sewing machine or a lack of materials or the missing a color or time constraints or the weather is disagreeable when you want to garden. Puts things on hold for you temporarily, but you are always going to go back to creating. You just, as an Aries, it's almost like it's intrinsically within you to be creative, to explore, to get out there and try new things, to see what things have to offer up, whether that's a relationship, a hobby, book learning, whatever it is, exploring this planet that we live on. It can come in many, many forms. All right, so that's your beautiful house 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you are confident here. You are creative. You are happy with what you create. So this is beautiful. All right, let's take a look at house 6 here, which is the house of Virgo. Your energy around how you care for yourself, making sure that you give to things that are going to hopefully give equal in return. Okay, but this is about how you view your sense of worth based on what you give to and what you receive. Okay, personal care, your work life, how you consider, if I put the energy in here to where I'm getting what I'm supposed to be, that's fantastic. But if I'm not receiving what I need, you may move on. Okay, you've got very strong work ethics. All right, let's take a look here at what you received. The Queen of Cups. For many of you, this is an emotional arena in your life. You've been through some major heartbreaks here. Concerning, I'm getting mostly work situations where you put your energy in, you offer up the very best of yourself, you're more than capable, and yet it was not quite returned in favor. It was heartbreaking. It was definitely heartbreaking. I'm also hearing that pertains to some relationships, friendships, romances. Yeah, the Queen of Cups represents the emotional turmoil that she has been through. She's been down that heartbreak road many, many times, but she finds her peace. She finds her sense of peace. So Notice she's solitude on this beach. She's by herself. And we have two images of two people on a beach or waterfront in a solitary energy. Actually, you've got three. So this is an emotional, this is like building here. This is not something that happened overnight. This is repeated. All right, so I see that you may have repeated certain circumstances, even though you did things differently each time, a little bit different. Like maybe you held your emotions back at work. Maybe you didn't talk to people openly like you used to. I have one experience where I would walk into work and I would say good morning to people as I passed by them. And this one woman looked at me and she says, "You have no right to be so GD happy this early in the morning." And I'm thinking, no, you have no business being that miserable that early in the morning. But the point here is that you've been through it. You've been challenged in almost every situation you are in, but you're not giving up. You may have kept your emotions to yourself, not spoken to people quite the way you did, but you're a people person, I get, for most of you. So there is that element of repeated heartbreaks, disappointments in those arenas of your life. Now, your personal health, it looks like you've had a few issues possibly. You're very strong. You're very capable. You always recover and bounce back. But it does seem like there's a lot of health issues involved in your past. And it could be each based on those situations of disappointment, heartbreak that you have been through in the past. All right, let's take a look at house 7 here, which is the house of Libra, which is your opposite here, which also reflects back to the sense of self, how we view ourselves, our confidence, our courage. But this focuses almost exclusively, not completely, on our relationships. Okay, so let's see. How do we see ourselves based on the relationships we have? People are the mirror that shows us what type of person we are. Do we stand by our word? Do we allow people to walk all over us? Who are we and what are our major relationships in this world? Do we have a healthy sense of self or not? And this is a process. This is not something that just happens. It's ongoing throughout our whole life. We learn more about ourselves with each encounter we have with other people. All right, so let's see where you are on that journey. You have the 8 of Swords. This is too funny. That's true Libra energy I'm beginning to feel. The sense of being caught up in your head, overthinking things just a little bit too much. But I will say here, in this particular deck, which this is the Celtic Tarot, we see you forging forward, okay, with wisdom, with wings, with divine protection. So even though some relationships have been challenging, you have learned a lot about yourself, that you are stronger and more capable and wiser than maybe other people have given you credit for. And what I just heard was maybe you held on to the beliefs of what other people thought about yourself and have finally broken free or are breaking free from those things and realizing that what other people think of you is not who you are. Who you think you are is who you are, okay? But you've taken the time to look at yourself from your relationships. Are the people that you engage with worthy, of your time, of your energy? And this harkens back to this situation with work. If you are putting in or in an environment where you're putting in and nobody else is, whether it's a romantic relationship or work or whatever it is, you get out of that situation? Most of you, yes, you move on. You're ready to go. You aren't going to stay in that energy for very long. We have 6 swords down here, okay, which says that you do move forward. You find in life becomes easier. The older you get, the more experiences you have, the more time you take to look at yourself and realize, oh, I may be enabling this situation to continue because I'm not honoring my own values here. This is the process that you have been through. And at this point, you have a lot of wisdom. You're moving forward much more confidently, and life is becoming easier because of you realize who you are and what your relationships are offering up to you. Some are working out, I'm sure. Others are probably not working very great. Is there any way for you to continue to forge forward here, Aries, and keep that wisdom and strength and courage? Move forward with this beautiful energy. All right, let's look at House 8. House 8 is the house of Scorpio here, and you just drew the Page of Pentacles. This is the house of transformation, change, overcoming difficult situations, relationships, heartbreaks, karmic energies, those things that you came here to experience as a human being, as a divine creature having a human experience. This could be your viewpoint, your energies around your relationships, in the sense of, do you see them as just strictly karmic things that you have no control over? Or do you find the energy and the clarity and strength, which we saw you have here in the house of Libra, house 7, you have it. You have that wisdom to overcome. And with this Page of Pentacles, I'm hearing you definitely look at everything brand new. You offer up a fresh start every single day, possibly, or at least on a regular basis here. You're ready to transform. You're ready to move forward. You don't want to stay stuck in the energies of anything for very, very long. So some of you may have had a strong sense of dread at the future of what happens when we move on from this plane of existence. I think most of you have developed over time a much clearer understanding of what loss actually is. It's nothing more than a learning experience. It helps us grow. It helps us to learn freedom through not clinging, not controlling, not forcing things. And even though it feels like this is destined to happen, you still keep a good sense of self-worth and autonomy, willpower, desire, what you want to have happen here. So that's a beautiful energy. This is transformative energy. I'm getting that image of myself. I get up every morning and every day is a brand new day. What's going to happen today? The world is wide open. I could get in my car. I could travel to New York if I want to. I could sit on my couch and do absolutely nothing today. I could get up and decide I'm going to bake from morning till the end of the day. What is it that excites you? And that's the thing. That is the thing, is Aries, you are always ready to take on learning, growing, trying something new, or doing what you just love to do. I absolutely love that. So there are offers here that you are making up. Maybe it's exploring with a new friend. I do get here with this Page of Pentacles that you may be engaging with new people. Someone new is coming in here at this point. You find this person exciting, fun, a good person to go with you as you either go down a mental road trip with great conversations, exploring those things that most people don't even think about, like spirituality, religion, politics. And you can talk about these things openly and freely without judgment from the other person and no judgment from yourself. This is really good energy here, okay? Your intimacy, your ability to really explore your world. And I feel like there is somebody here that's going to connect with you on that level. All right, let's move on to house 9. And of course, house 9 is the house of Sagittarius here, the explorer, all right? And this continues on from what we just had here with the Scorpio energy of house 8. You receive the Queen of Swords, authenticity, being yourself, feeling, again, this is your ability or desire to either grow or stay stagnant. And as an Aries, you just can't possibly stay stagnant. You can't stay in one thing for too awful long. Now, I want to mention something here. I'm doing an Aries reading, okay? Now, this could be Aries in your sun sign, your rising sign, moon sign, Venus sign, or Aries in any placement of your chart. However, the strongest you may feel with Aries energy is going to be either your sun or your rising sign. Okay, your rising sign is how you actually perceive the world, how people perceive you. All right, so keep that in mind. Just a little sidebar there. Here in house 9, this is your philosophy, how you view the world, what you see as, let's quote and unquote this, right and wrong, okay? Even though most things are not right or wrong if we can get them to neutral, okay? It's how they are used that causes the effect of rightness or wrongness. So that's your viewpoint on those things, okay? This also talks about your ability to educate yourself. How do you learn? Do you go through academia, colleges, and so on and so forth? Do you get book smarts? Where, it's all about self-expression here, but growing, expanding, honestly, looking for the truth, always seeking the truth here. And I do see you doing that. And again, we've got the icy cold energy here, the crystal energy though. And to me, what I'm hearing right here again is that need to separate yourself so that you can learn, gather, inform yourself, build your ethics, figure out who you are before you engage again with humanity. So you may go on long sabbaticals. You may take a weekend to just go away and explore, learn, reconnect with your higher power, to find your spiritual place, whether that's in a cold place or nature or with a particular friend, with your hobbies, whatever it is, you are in a good place there. All right, let's move on to house 10. And house 10 is the house of Capricorn. Okay, this is your self-discipline. We have here the opposite of this is your roots. House 4 is your roots. This is you sitting at the apex of your life. What is your life mission? What's your life goal? Do you feel you have one? Do you want one? Do you not want one? What is it you desire to go after to express yourself visibly to the people around you? Do you care about what other people think? Most of us do to some degree, but it also talks about your achievements that you do, whether anyone else recognizes them or not. And in house 10 is the 4 of Wands. You are an achiever. You definitely have did I say 4 of Winds? 4 of Wands, which is stability, accomplishing your goals, going after those things that you desire and that you feel are worthy of your time and attention. You do, even if nobody recognizes, we have no people around here celebrating with you in this card, okay? This is definitely your accomplishments for yourself. You're not trying to impress anybody. You're just doing what makes you feel right. This is the path that you want to follow in life. You're willing to put in whatever energies to achieve what you see as valuable to yourself, possibly to others, okay? But this is definitely you achieving your goals. Goal setter in the sense of manifesting your desires, okay? So it's not about hard work. This is more about the belief that you can achieve what you want to achieve, and you will achieve it, okay? I feel strongly that for you, Aries, you don't need other people to see or recognize your accomplishments at this point. In the past, that may have been very big for you. I don't feel it is that way any longer. All right, let's take a look at house 11. This is the house of Aquarius, and this is about where you feel you fit in society. Do you want a bunch of friends? Do you only want one friend? Do you want no friends? Do you like to work with groups of people? Would you prefer not to be around other people? Aries, I think you have times where you have strong possible opinions about how to improve life. Why are things the way they are? Why do people do these things to themselves? You can see the bigger picture here, and you want to do things to help humanity, but over time you may have come to this strong realization that what you've attempted to do is not always accepted. So you may be distancing yourself from larger groups, okay? You have found a place where maybe just one or two friends, one or two activities within the community is all that you really are striving for here. Let's see what we have here. The Chariot. See, things change up for you on a pretty consistent basis. One day you're over here and you're like, okay, I can take my time. I can spend my time with this. I like this group. But things change. Your feelings change. Your emotions change. Your thoughts change. As you keep going further and further into any given situation, okay, when you look at society, the deeper you dive, the more your opinion changes, the more your thoughts change, the more your feelings change. This, for you as an Aries, it's that strong desire to be informed, to know, to learn, to grow. I'm getting strong Sagittarius energy coming through here too. To be that explorer, to be that pioneer, and to be willing to change. You kind of will go with the flow. If this piques your interest today, you're going to keep going down that road. But if for some reason you get down that road so far and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I see I can't be effective here, or maybe I'm not wanted here, or maybe I thought these people or this thing was a little bit different, you see the change and you're ready to move on. All right, let's look at house 12. And this is the house of Pisces. Okay, I love that the Ace of Swords came up here as your overall energy in the house of Pisces. This sword, Ace of Swords, is embedded into this stone, okay? It's like was it King Arthur that pulled the sword from the stone? It's a truth you have come to realize about life, about yourself. And this truth, even though it's embedded in the storm again, or the stone, there's been snow here. There's been that sense of separating yourself from the absolutes. Okay, so there's the gray matter. There's the dark black, there's the white, there's every spectrum of truth in between, spiritually, emotionally, everything about life is trying constantly to go from one extreme to another and find neutrality, to find that place of balance, okay? And it looks like you have accepted this truth about life. You're willing to go with the flow, you're willing to make these changes, and allowing yourself a little bit of fantasy, as in dreamlike energy, creativity. That's strong for a lot of you. Creativity is where it's at for you. Exploration in the sense of creativity, traveling, spiritually, physically, going and exploring this world and not limiting yourself to being, I am Aries. You are much more than that. You are Aries with other placements in your chart and 12 houses of different signs within you, okay, with different things that are activated at all times. So labels do not fit for you, do not work for you. But you are clearly seeing this about yourself, about life, and about, maybe your spiritual beliefs have come to a different viewpoint, but this is about expansion and being open to all possibilities. You are not going to label yourself. You're not going to label other people. You are who you are. As far as I can be me today, I'm always me, but I can be the gardener today. And tomorrow, maybe later tonight, I feel like being the person who goes and makes some clothing, or paints a picture, or hangs out with friends, okay? And maybe you have a spiritual belief that changes and develops, grows, or diminishes over a lifetime. You are open to all the possibilities. And that is absolutely beautiful. I would like to get you an oracle message here. We're going to get you an angel number. Let's see what comes up here. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Let's go ahead. If you have, you know what to do, please. If you would click on the like button, if you would drop a comment claiming this message, that would be fantastic. And of course, feel free to share this reading with anybody that you think might benefit from it, hearing it. And as I am such a small channel, I do know that there is the hype button that you can use. If you feel so inclined, I would greatly, greatly appreciate you supporting this channel by hyping this message. That would be awesome. And I do want to take a moment and say thank you to each and every one of you for being here. And Aries, you know I got an affinity for you, as I'm an Aries sun sign, Scorpio rising. I'm also a Cancer moon. So drop what you are in the comments too. All right, so you have 1221. Oh, fits Aries energy completely. Taking the initiative. Look at this, the change. You've got the Chariot. You embrace the changes. You welcome changes. It's a way of learning, of growing, expanding. You have a a continuous sense of optimism. It just goes on. You wake up in the morning and you're like, this can be whatever I want it to be. This day can be whatever I want. Even when you're stuck within like a job, okay, you do your job, but it's how you view it. So it's always your perspective that makes you happy. You find your joy. You know where to find it. You're great at communication. Awesome at communicating. I am hearing there will be some sort of messages coming in here for you. You may be making giving invitations to do something with somebody new. Now there is good news here too. So it could be this new person coming in, a promotion at work, recognition, reconnection with somebody that maybe you have not seen in a while. I'm also getting a strong sense of self-expression at this time. You have a very, very strong desire because the vibrations around you are extremely high. Aries, as usual, work with what you have and it will take you places. Count your blessings and acknowledge your loved ones. You will find an inspiration and figure out a way to move forward no matter what. You might also be getting some good news soon. So that's a beautiful message for you. If you are interested in a personal reading, please email me. My information is in the description box below every single video. And yeah, I will send you all the details how personal readings work for me and my channel. All right, I'm wishing you a very blessed and beautiful day. Bye-bye.